I've got to be honest with you, chums. I've never understood the fascination with this particular celebrity, Oprah Winfrey. I don't know why, suddenly people feel like they want to be on her show or whatever. And I'm not knocking her as a person or anything like that. I just don't really understand. I mean, I'm sure probably in the 80s, she used to be on when I was at school, the sort of daytime stuff. And that was the very first time I'd sort of heard of her. And then she sort of re-emerged in my mind when she did the interview with Michael Jackson. I think that was kind of it. I didn't really know too much about her, but clearly she's forged a career as a doyen and, has managed to sustain a career for many, many years. A little blot, of course, on the landscapes, many along the way, pictured with the wrong people, possibly at the wrong time, and possibly the biggest thing that she did was to, well, not be less than truthful about exactly how she shed all of that weight this time around. And we're not talking about the astronaut Gail King. We're just basically saying, well, Oprah was an ambassador, if you remember. Some say also a shareholder in Weight Watchers, allegedly, and then suddenly said, oh no, by the way, had a few jabs, and the weight fell off, And now, of course, she's back on your screens touting around Jacinda Ardern, a woman who really, divides a lot of opinion. I've never met her. I did see her at an event at Downing Street and seemingly looked very much out of her depth. But now, with a book to sell and trying to keep her profile up, this is the game she's in. You see, Oprah Winfrey is a very strange character. When she interviewed Harry and Meghan, she never really kicked back on anything. And it was so rehearsed, wasn't it? And what? And wow? And, all of that sort of stuff. Very, very sort of trivialized. But it's interesting because now she's in a battle with none other. Well, not her, in fact, but someone else is in a battle with none other than Lorraine Kelly. Yes, our Lorraine. Oh, as ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lovely to have your company. And, sorry, we'll have a lovely wave. I hope you're keeping well. By the way, I'm glad you all enjoyed the comment I made about milk. I think you will agree. Yeah, it's just better, isn't it? Yeah, the whole milk thing. I think you've just, if you're having the green one for the dietary stuff and, maybe you're on certain medications, and I get all of that, honestly, you do have to be careful and listen to the doc or do your own research as I do. But I do sort of think if you're worried about getting enough calcium and things, yeah, it's just like drip water, isn't it, the green stuff now? And the red stuff, I wouldn't bother buying. What's the point? Might as well just put water in a plastic cup and make do, It's just so thin, isn't it, Why do we bother? Now, I'll tell you, why do we bother over this? Because it's a very strange thing that's literally simmering behind the scenes that you might not know about. But as ever, I like to bring you it first. You see, in this coming fall, as you say in America, over here we say the autumn, around about November time, coming up to winter obviously, but we have a very special book to look forward to, Michelle Obama's Look Good or Looking Good, and this is apparently all about how she's going to tell us her beauty secrets, the stories behind some of the outfits she wore at some of the big political events, and about style and grace and stuff like that. Now, in fairness, Michelle has led an incredible life, whether you agree or not, but people are only interested in her husband, the former president, Barack Obama, right? He's the star of the show, that's it. And I've met Barack Obama, actually came to my studio just before he became president, when he did, I think, Meet the Press for NBC or ABC, something like that. Nice man, very down to earth. I liked him, I'm not political in that sense. I just thought, yeah, he seems pleasant enough. And then he became president, so, not bad really. Met him again when he became president. Nice enough chap, but, not my president. I don't live in your country. Now, what's interested is Michelle Obama launched a podcast, does nothing but moan and moan and moan about it, and then tried, of course, to get some traction going when she said that she was transitioning. We saw you, Michelle, we just know what you're saying. You're just trying to get people interested. And, the fall from grace has been pretty hard, in fact, because what do you do when you've had the very top job? You've got to come up with something. Now, what's interesting is that Michelle, as I say, has got a book out. Behind the scenes, though, there are, well, quite a few people trying to secure the interviews. Over here we have the doyen of Good Morning Britain, ITV, Lorraine. That's right, Lorraine, who's been slashed down to 30 weeks a year now and cutbacks and stuff. She believes, having met Michelle Obama before, that she'd be ideally placed. Over in America, though, Meghan Markle believes this is her golden opportunity to have that sit down with Michelle Obama for her ongoing podcast. Do you think it'd be going in November? Right? I mean, truly. And then the other side of the coin is this. You've also got Oprah Winfrey. Now, I would just say that she will bag it regardless, and then there'll be a few dregs dished out to the remainders. But Will, of course, even though Michelle Obama got on incredibly well with our late monarch, and of course the Duke of Edinburgh, and for a period at least, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, will she now finally relent, given the fact that her podcast is absolutely bombing and she needs this book to sell? Will she give in and confront or indeed sit opposite and have a chat with Markle? Meghan's team seemingly thinks so, and her new team are beavering away behind the scenes and are very content and assured that they can make it happen. You know what this means if you don't, though, don't you? The revolving door of Archewell will be spinning once more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.